and he asked me what I do for a living, which I thought was so funny. And I was like, I'm doing it right now.
This is my job.
Like, I'm a Marine. Like, I come to help you. And he goes, well, do you do anything else? I was like, no. He goes, are you always gonna do this? I was like, I don't think so. I think I'm gonna figure something else out. He's like, well, what are you gonna do? And I was like, you know me, like I always try to like respond quickly and intelligently. It's just kind of who I am. I really don't like, at least not back then, like awkward silences, and I don't like to look like I don't know. For whatever reason, it was like a character weakness of mine. I just could not know. And I sat there and I was like, I haven't thought about it. And this dude, which we've never had a serious conversation before, ever. And then I was like, I wish I was born in America, because then I can do what I want to do. That was all he said. That was all he said. And I was like, oh my God, I've never even thought about it like that.
Are you ready to get down to earth? It's Raven Hernandez. Let's do it.
All right, Sergeant Miller. So before we got on camera, you were about to tell me about the older woman that you had been with?
Okay, that's a little out of context, but how do we even get in that conversation?
Your hairstylist.
My hairstylist, barber. So I wanted to like look good on the podcast. I want to hang out with Raven again. I better be handsome on my game, naturally. And didn't have time for me. So I was like, you know what? We're going to do what we can. Clean the beard up, throw the hair
So this
back.
was all you?
This is all me.
You did that.
I'm my own stylist. I can do it all.
You did the black with the brown and the blue. You made that happen.
I made this happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
like
proud
the
of that?
Bruno Magli's.
I mean,
They're nice.
you're always
They're
impressive.
expensive.
I mean, Sergeant Miller, you impress everyone.
We try to.
Sergeant, Esquire, all the titles.
We've lived a long life.
None of the charges, all been dropped. It's all good. We're about to get real deep into it.
We can get into that.
So let's talk about the good stuff first. Let's talk about how awesome of a human that you've been, right?
Oh, I love that.
When you were in the Marines, you quickly were promoted to sergeant.
Yeah, from private, which is the first rank, sergeant's the fifth. That process took like 3 years. And
how long does it normally take?
In my field, probably like 5. So
years.
It's like you don't just get promoted based like against everybody in the Marine Corps. It's like specific to your job, your MOS. So for me, in signals intelligence, it's like it's not very competitive because the Marine Corps still has like these outdated promotion standards. It's not how great of an intelligence Marine were you. It's how fast can you run and how well do you shoot comes first. And then it's like a popularity contest, produces points, but it has nothing to do with how good you are at your job. So
but if you're not good at running fast and shooting well, isn't that like your number one job?
That's what I would argue in the Marine Corps. Like, if you're a Marine, like that should be the standard. But you
got to survive. You got to be alive to do this.
Yeah,
like the signals and intelligence stuff.
This is the thing. You choose the Marine Corps for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're gonna do the military at all, like there's probably something going on that's
mentally you probably have
maybe
some
you're not
trauma.
the most privileged person to begin with,
Oh, okay.
but some people. Maybe a little trauma. I don't know what's politically correct, but man, I'll go off on veterans. I feel like a little privilege issues, a little serious. But in the Marine Corps, yeah, I think everybody knows when you're going into. Let me explain it this way. So, like there's these jokes about the recruiters and like how they drive the nice cars. They're trying to bring you in, and it was a commercial that got me in, and I'm sure we'll be able to find this somewhere. And it's I had this one dude who's like getting yelled at, and he's about to jump into a pool, and it's like 30 feet, like it's a good jump. You end up doing that jump in the Marine Corps too. And has this other kid on the pull-up bar getting yelled at, but it's like silent, and he's struggling to get up the pull-up. And then the screen goes black, and the narrator's like, all we ask is that you give us everything you have, and we'll let you know when you've given it. I was like, that shit was hard.
So you were like, I want to try and give them everything I have.
Absolutely. Well, my family.
Well, yeah,
we
I
have
say
like
your
a
father.
war hero father.
Yeah, exactly.
Grandparents served in the military. So for me, and I was like a terrible high school student. Like I was so bad that when it came time to graduate and they have like the diplomas, they gave me an empty folder. I had to take another class so I wouldn't become a super senior. That's how bad.
So they were like, we're going to let you act like you got this, but really.
We're going to let you take the photos.
Yeah.
And
jeez.
Yeah, I was just a terrible student, but it wasn't like.
So then the Marines really helped you kind of take that time to grow as a person.
100%. So going back to the ad, they bring an advertisement like that. And then to you, like as I want to say to a boy, but maybe that's not correct. But for me, it was like, here's the ultimate challenge to prove yourself. So I already feel like a failure because
Because you were.
Yeah, I wasn't the nicest kid to everybody. I'm not like a bully or anything, but
You're
I wasn't
mean,
like
your grades
I
suck.
I wouldn't say I was mean.
I mean, this is your story.
I was a romantic. Is what I
Okay.
was.
So you were a player.
No, romantic. I was a romantic, and that kind of distracted me from school. And then once I put it into my head, like, oh, I'm just gonna be a Marine like my father. Why even worry about school when I can do that for 20 years?
Yeah.
So like I just pushed it all the way to the side, got my straight C's, toss a D in there, and that was it. So when I entered the Marine Corps, thinking like I'm gonna do this for 20 years, it's gonna be super easy. All you gotta do is run around. Well, I was right in the promotion aspect. All you gotta do is like really run fast, do some pull-ups,
Which
and
you can
shoot
do.
well, which a lot of Marines hate, especially in the intel field, because they're like,
Nerdy.
there's a lot of nerds.
Yeah.
Just because they join the Marine Corps tracks like one of two people. Like the troubled youth probably did well in sports, didn't get a scholarship, something like that, and the nerd. The Marine Corps is filled with nerds. It's like, I don't know how many of them you've met, but chances are he's really polite.
Like a Joel. Like Joel wasn't a
Like a
Marine,
Joel.
but very much so like
somebody
our
who's
good
really,
friend Joel.
Like he's really
Yeah.
put together, really polite, overly nice, to the point where you're like, man, I can hardly picture you in the Marine Corps. That like is the majority of Marines. These nerds, they get like in shape, buff and hot, and then they're outstanding people. Half of them. The other half are people who they probably didn't have a choice,
Like they probably shouldn't have a gun, but they do.
but they do.
Yeah.
And
Either they were going to do it legally or illegally, and thankfully they're serving our country now. So when
Yeah.
you were over there, so you were a part of a program that Obama created.
yes.
And there was like how many people, like 10 or 20 in that program?
The Foreign Military Advisor Program was introduced, I think, originally as a transition out of Afghanistan, which obviously doesn't happen for another 10 years. But it was introduced then to say, look, we're going to train the Afghan National Army and some of these other foreign militaries to do basically what the Americans are doing there so that we can peacefully transition out, lower our presence there. It was a complete failure. So the first team that went before me ended up getting like shot by the people that they were
Assassinated, all of them.
Yeah,
Is it,
by the
would
peop-
you say assassin? Like what's the word
I
when
guess.
you're
I mean, it was by the
killed?
people they were advising. So like assassinated, like murdered seems appropriate.
Yeah.
'cause-
I mean, they're killed.
yeah, because I wouldn't say like people are murdered in war if the goal is to kill the enemy, but if you're killed by people who are there to help,
And they know, and they're working with you, and they kind
And
of
they
turn on
know.
you. So the whole crew gets slaughtered, and then they
Yeah.
bring in,
Yeah, that's the
and
word.
your
So-
own crew
so-
too.
yeah. So I'm a replacement. There's like a.
Did you know that they had all been killed?
We don't find that out until like a month before we're going out.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did it make you? So at first, were you like, I've been chosen by the White House to represent my country and do this mission, and then you're like, wait a second.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Did it make you question like going?
They had like volunteers in my battalion because I was in an intel battalion.
Mm-hmm.
So this was like kind of separate from intel, which I'd always like been separate from intel. They sent me to like a lot of random courses like combat jet ski and coxswain course and swimmer.
Combat jet skis?
Yeah, oh, that's a real thing.
What? So what? Like,
it's not like you're on jet skis like shooting people. That would be way
because that's
sicker.
exactly what I thought.
Yeah, no, it's like you ride a jet ski that like pops off one of these boats. You have like a boogie board attached. You save people, I guess, who would fall out of the water.
Who's falling out of the water?
Imaginary sailors. I don't
Okay,
know.
so
I never like
basically,
actually got to do it. It was just training.
Does anyone actually do this job?
They have to, right? Otherwise, why would there be a school
why
for
would
it?
taxpayer dollars go
Why
to
would
that?
tax-
I don't
yeah,
know.
well, I'm glad it did though, because it was the most fun I'd ever had. There's this kid. Yeah, shout out to Joshua Wells. He's like a rival. This guy, me and him just could not stop butting heads.
Good looks.
Oh, beautiful
A little
man.
taller than you.
You know what? God bless his soul. I think he was like my height.
Oh,
God
so
bless
then
his
so then
soul.
he was equal competitor.
Yeah, he's a better athlete. So he's a much better athlete. So they, the way our platoon was set up is like, so I end up in this platoon called what was it? RRP, like Radio Recon. But I was like not the best member of the platoon. And then there was like the rock stars who were like just killing it, doing high speed things. Joshua Wells was a part of that group, and I was a part of this training unit where I just trained people to get ready to go to recon. And that's it. And Wells was in that class with me, and I remember at the last day of combat jet ski, you gotta like kind of gun it for like, I don't know, like 10 miles or something like that, and for no reason at all, because him and I butt heads so much. I'm like, I gotta beat this dude in this race, like so
Yes,
so childish.
You create challenges.
You create
in your,
challenges in
yeah.
your head, and I took that L, and it was so fucking painful.
You lost
We lost
against Joshua.
This guy was amazing. He was like getting faster times on the O course. He's a faster swimmer.
But all you have to do is just gun it. Like,
Yeah, in the ocean, it's not that easy.
I mean, so you're reading the waves and you're gunning.
reading the waves,
I mean,
you're
you
gunning
know,
it anyways.
hand to the throttle. You know, I used to ride a motorcycle.
Yeah.
I mean,
But anyways, so from that platoon, the battalion asked for volunteers. So like we need I think it was like 8 volunteers to do it, and like nobody volunteers. And so finally they're like, all right, the Marine Corps, like, you ever heard the phrase voluntold?
voluntold.
Voluntold.
Like, I'm gonna tell you to do it, but you're
Yeah,
gonna
like
volunteer.
hey, you have an opportunity to volunteer, otherwise I'm gonna volunteer you to do this. So it's like you really have no. That's like the Marine Corps' motto.
Got you.
Like, we're gonna get bodies to do this one way or the other, so you might as well. And
That's
of course,
that's like life, though. Like,
it is like life.
someone's gonna do it. You can either choose to do it, or we're gonna make you.
yeah. So
So they voluntold you.
they voluntold me. Nobody volunteered, and they're like, it was like the fucking Bad News Bears. They picked everybody who causes problems at the battalion. Like,
Really?
Yeah. So like
no.
because I promoted quickly, I thought I was safe.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they're like, well, we need 2 NCOs. It's like above the 3rd rank. Once you hit corporal, you become a non-commissioned officer. So it's like you get a little bit of management authority. It's like we need a couple NCOs. As a corporal at the time, so they're like, this is easy. Miller, you're definitely going. I was just like, where are we going? I was like, where are we going?
Yeah. Okay.
Because like nobody
Vacation.
deploys in this unit. It's an intel unit, so a lot of it is done like from home.
So you kind of like felt, because once you got in that unit, you're like, okay, sick. I'm gonna be stateside most of the time. Maybe I'll do some like
Yeah.
Hawaii type Guam.
Yeah, because at this point, I'm still that same kid in high school. Like boot camp doesn't change
Yeah.
you. It'll
You're
put
still
you in
a
better
badass.
shape, and you'll learn how to like manipulate the system
Like,
a
it's
little
almost
bit.
gone bad to your head because you haven't had your ego checked.
You
except
haven't
for
really
Joshua
had
Wells.
your ego checked, and boot camp is not like Marine Corps boot camp gets a lot of credit, especially after Full Metal Jacket, sick ass movie, and which like really nails like the experience, although not quite as violent. And but it's not enough for somebody who's like got a decent head. If you got some mental fortitude in you, if you're a decent athlete, you're not going to be challenged yet.
Yeah.
So at this point in my career, this is 2011 where I get selected. We deploy in 2012.
When they told you that it was Afghanistan, were you like, oh shit?
Yeah, that happens like a month later. We meet the teams and they're like, okay, we're going to meet some Afghan interpreters and stuff like that. We're going to do some
Stateside?
language stateside, learn some languages, Farsi, Pashto. We're going to have a conversation and kind of go over the customs. That way because if you're advising a foreign military, like every meeting was like sit down, rice, eat with the hands, all fat, no meat on the goat.
Smoking.
And smoking hookah or opium or whatever it is they put in there. Nazwar, for anyone who knows what that is, don't do that. And that aspect is when I was kind of like, oh, like how Afghanistan are we going? They're like, oh, you're going all over. We ended up transitioning like every couple months when we were there. But
I mean,
once-
did you think you were going to like the mall strip version of it?
Well,
like,
people have this idea that Afghanistan is like just this massive desert with like a couple huts. Like I was in Kabul, the capital city. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's not like much different than like Bakersfield. Like it's not like too crowded, but it's a city. There's air conditioning. There's restaurants. We went to restaurants, hookah bars.
but you're still in a third world country.
You're still in a
But
third
you
world
were
country.
in the huts and stuff.
So there was one point where I was gone for about 2 months right off the Kajaki River in the Sengan province, which is like where all the fun stuff happens for Marines. Like Marines who like really join the Marine Corps to be a Marine, that's where they want to go. So there was a period where I was there for like 2 months, and that was like the Afghanistan you picture in your head.
Gotcha.
It just
the
sucked.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, stuff like shitting in pots and not
Yeah,
having
like
fun.
it's not anything that you're gonna get too excited to do. And I think that's kind of where I grow up. Because
you realize it's like I'm now in life or death.
yeah, like I'm now in a situation
game.
where it's like it's not fun anymore. My little Caleb antics and cute jokes and
Not gonna get you far.
yeah, pushing buttons. Oh, sorry, like I didn't
Yeah.
know that was wrong. You always know it's wrong. There's no girls to talk to. Like it's
Yeah.
like
No
it's like
distractions.
no distractions, and it's like it is very serious that you need to be an adult now. And you know what happened to the last team? Those people who did that obviously aren't there anymore. But you have another team, and that kind of floats in the back of your head, like, oh man, that might happen.
Yeah.
But you're also trying to play nice with
Because the whole
everybody.
team was taken out. So it's like that is a possibility at
It's-
any moment.
You think about that.
Yeah.
I never actually felt, after the first couple months in my deployment, I didn't really feel like that was a possibility. Like
Until it was, which we'll get to.
yeah, like I forgot
Yeah.
that it was a possibility.
Yeah.
So it's like you get so close with the Afghans, and then like I'm trying my best to not use the interpreter to like speak Farsi with these kids, and so like I'm literally I start having the time of my life at the same time. The distractions are gone, and the conversations I'm having with some of these Afghans, especially the ones that are like more Western educated, because they have some. So most of the ANA, the Afghan National Army, they're like Northern, so they're a little more pro-America, pro-democracy, but we're like in the South, in the East. And obviously where like the anti-American sentiment is. But the people you're dealing with tend to be...
They want you there because you started bringing, was it electricity?
Electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tried to build like a makeshift electrical grid.
Just for the hell of it.
Yeah, generators, gasoline, and power lines all over the huts to get Wi-Fi. And so it was a sick setup.
And why did you do that? Like, did you...
That was part of our job.
Okay, so that you were tasked to do that.
No, we weren't like tasked to do that. We were tasked to train the Afghan National Army in how to conduct signals intelligence.
Okay.
Using certain equipment. And in order to do that, you have to like kind of do a little give and take. So like we'll do something for you, you do something for us. And then, you know, obviously they want help with construction of more buildings. So we do that. They want help with, and some of the things they want to construct is like hysterical. Like volleyball fields are really important, soccer fields. We played against the Afghan National Army all the time. Got smoked.
They beat you?
It was like back and forth, but like they were way better. It's like, cause dude, it's Americans and typically Southern kids.
Yeah.
Marines are like they're from like Texas, New York, and California.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of Louisiana and Georgia. All the Marines. So it's like you're either super Southern, probably didn't play soccer.
So it was football. Like if you were playing football, y'all would have won.
I mean, the Afghan people are like their diet is not like our diet. So like
they're like lean.
Like maybe I saw 2 fat Afghans out of 100,000. They're lean,
gosh.
and they can move like up these hills and everything. Like they can move.
They're trained. I mean, they're trained in a whole different environment. So you're helping them build out facilities, bringing electricity, and the leaders in this community are really starting to bond with you and build like very strong. Like they trust you. They're inviting you into their homes. They're breaking bread with you and smoking things and doing all these things, right?
Absolutely. So there's one guy, one village elder who was out there in that 2-month period I was talking about. His name's Anayat. This dude, he was like kind of good looking too. He's a fresh ass guy.
You always like the good looking guy.
I like people who I feel
spirits.
like kindred spirits. You know, just to toot my own horn. And Anayat he had this little DVD player like for CDs. And he like loved American movies, loved American movies. And one day he like tells me, he's like, hey, I want to watch my favorite movie with you. He's like, I'm so excited. There's no like translation or subtitles. He watches it in English, hardly understands it.
Yeah.
It's Adam Sandler's 51st Dates.
Oh my gosh.
And he fucking loves this movie.
Like laughing at the
like
punchlines,
crying,
like
laughing,
acts like he's never
laughing
seen
at moments
it.
where I feel like he should laugh. So there's one scene in the movie, and I'll never forget this for the rest of my life. So it's literally just me, him, another Marine by the name of Lay, and our interpreter Zarif, who's here in the United States now. He's killing it. You know, he like was part of that program where like you interpret for us for X amount of years, you get American citizenship. He got it, and I just saw him the other day. He's so fresh.
Oh, he's in LA?
He is in LA often. He's a truck driver, and I think he lives in Virginia.
Okay.
But
and he's doing well.
He comes to LA. Yeah, he like stayed the night in my apartment. We were chatting, had dinner, and smoked a little bit. Cool guy. And so, anyways, we're watching this movie, and a night like gets so excited, and instead, because he tries his best to speak English with me, but he's not very like good. But suddenly, it's all Farsi to my interpreter. But he's like excited, like he's like tell Caleb blah 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 da 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 da. And we watch the scene, and Drew Barrymore is looking at Adam Sandler, and he's trying to like get the walrus to tell her to agree on a date, like, and then you know the walrus does it, and so my interpreter starts busting up laughing, and I'm like, tell me, and he goes, he wants to know if that animal's real. And I was like, yeah, that animal's, it's a walrus, yeah, it's a real animal. Like if we have internet, I'll show you. And he goes, okay, how does it know English? And the interpreter like can hardly say it. He's laughing so hard. He wants to know how it knows English.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my. I was like, he doesn't know. Like people train. He knows English.
It technically knows English, kind of ish. That's hilarious.
I was like, yeah, they know English.
So at what point, and I know we're gonna get a little deep here, but at what point, like when did things, like what was the pivotal moment and when things hit the fan? Like was it a gradual shift of like things started to feel dangerous, or was it just that one day that everything turned?
No, it was so the relationship I had with a few ANA members wasn't very good. And I think it was because I was like very informal and friends with like their lieutenants. So like there's like the officer corps and the enlisted corps, the ANA kind of matches that. There's officers, people who are in charge, like managers in a corporation, and there's the laborers. So some of the laborers kind of didn't like me because I had access to them, and like I'm not gonna lie, like I'm eating the food, like I'm in their houses, like I'm smoking the hookah. Like I'm having a much better life than they're having, and I'm kind of not really seeing it or caring. You know, like
So it almost was like disrespectful in their eyes.
In their eyes, and I didn't see it that way.
Yeah.
You know, I was like,
You're doing your job.
I'm doing my job. Like I'm making connections. We're building electrical grid. Like we're teaching classes, and like somewhere, I'll get this photo for you. There's like a photo of us in like this crap hut with this radio. I got this little like pointer, like an old school teacher on the chalkboard. And I'm trying to explain it. I love it. It's so fresh, but it's like exactly what we did every day. It's like, I was like a preschool teacher, you know, not like that they're preschool level intelligence, but they don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They've never seen the equipment. The words I'm saying don't translate because they don't exist in the language. So it's like you have to break things down to such a level of detail that it's like even you start to question what you know because you're like, how can I explain it any better than this? I don't know.
I couldn't explain Wi-Fi.
And the interpreter is not American either. So it's like, how can he even explain it?
He's having to use words that don't even exist in that language.
So he's trying to dance around words to create like a word. So that, like, you ever hear someone who's speaking like a non-English word and they'll randomly say something like Google, like in perfect, like a perfect English accent.
Because
like, Google. And you're like, oh, I know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that, like you know, radio or whatever equipment we're using. So, yeah, there was a lot of situations looking back. I was like, I did not even care what they were thinking about it. Like, I didn't even think to invite them to the dinners or ask if they could have some of the food. Like, there was one time we went fishing in the Kajaki River. And first off, I caught a fish with one of those like wheat bread, like dehydrated military breads. This Southern Marine. And he was telling me like he had a fish hook. So I took the fish hook, we used a string, and I put MRE bread on it. And he's like, you know, you can't catch a fish with MRE bread. Like it takes a lot. I was like, oh, we'll see what happens. Never caught a fish in my life. Like inside 30 seconds, we get a bite, pull the fish out. It was like a little picture on Facebook. I have a fish in Afghanistan. And I fished like 5 times since then, never caught a fish. Never got a bite.
Just the one time.
So
you had to let him know.
So yeah, but even then, looking back, and when I look at the photo, we had built this floating river patio that's like connected to the shore, but it was just for the lieutenant and us. I didn't even think about it. Like I didn't claim it just for the lieutenants and us. The lieutenant claimed it. The Afghan National Army lieutenant claimed it for himself.
So looking back, you would have done more to connect with the laborers and the workers, the working class.
I kind of saw them exactly. I saw them all as one, which was my first mistake.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, if I'm breaking bread with one, I'm breaking bread with them all. If I'm trying to speak the language to one, then they're all gonna appreciate it. But then, you know, looking back, they're laboring, and you know, I'm almost not for like a week.
You're hanging out smoking hash and whatever.
I'm having a good time.
You're having a good time.
Like the original Caleb personality is coming out where it shouldn't.
Yeah.
You know, but at this point, like I've already gone through a fundamental change in who I am. I remember like one crazy conversation I had with Anaya, and this is mostly in English too. His English wasn't bad. Just when he gets excited and he laughs, he like abandons it because he wants to like tell you so badly. And he asked me what I do for a living, which I thought was so funny. And I was like, I'm doing it right now.
This is my job.
Like I'm a Marine. Like I come to help you. And he goes, well, do you do anything else? I was like, no. He goes, are you always gonna do this? I was like, I don't think so. I think I'm gonna figure something else out. He's like, well, what are you gonna do? And I was like, you know me, like I always try to like respond quickly and intelligently. It's just kind of who I am. I really don't like, at least not back then, like awkward silences, and I don't like to look like I don't know. For whatever reason, it was like a character weakness of mine. I just could not know. And I sat there and I was like, I haven't thought about it. And this dude, which we've never had a serious conversation before, ever. And then it's like, you know, I wish I was born in America, because then I can do what I want to do. That was all he said. That was all he said. And I was like, oh my God, I've never even thought about it like that. Like, and then you lose sleep when you get hit with something that like questions, you know, you go through like a little existential crisis, like questions all the decisions you've made up to this point, questions your personality. And like at this point, I'm still a little bit of a hooligan. Like the Marine Corps hardly had like an effect on my desire for fun over order. You know, like chaos was still winning the battle. And Jordan Peterson would be disappointed. And when he hits me with this question, I start thinking about it. And I ended up calling my mom, like the next time we had an opportunity, which is only like 2-3 days later. You can get access to a phone. And if you knew like the right people, you can get access to the internet. Like
Caleb
once a week,
always
too.
knows the right people.
Always know the right people.
Yeah.
You know, you slip
So what'd
someone,
you say?
the right guy. I called my mom and I think I like cried and I was like, I want to come home.
Wow.
Like I'm not having fun anymore. She's like, well, why? What happened? You know, someone shoot at you. I was like, no, I just I think I've made a lot of mistakes and I think I'm realizing it right now. You know, my mom's perfect.
Yes.
Oh, don't worry about it. Da da da. You know, you're perfect. You know, you're gonna
Yes,
figure
you're
it out.
mama's boy.
My mom is so sweet, so cute. And that actually like changes the trajectory. That dumb little conversation changes the trajectory of my life. I start taking college classes when we get back to the States while I'm still in the Marine Corps, because the Marine Corps paid for it while you're still in, because my math level was like fucking pre-algebra or something. But at this time,
So you realized in that question that you had an opportunity to do. You saw a human who literally did not have an opportunity to do anything.
exactly. I realized somebody who was kind of looking at me like an idiot.
Yeah.
You know,
Like, what are you doing with your life?
like yeah, it was basically like, because he's a homie now, and he's like, well, what are you doing with your life? You don't
Yeah.
know, you don't even know what you want to do, and you could do anything.
Yeah.
Like, how stupid are you? And then that, you know, I wish I was born in America, because then I can do what I want.
Yeah.
Well, what am I going to say? Well, you can't necessarily do what you want. Well, I mean, you kind of can, you know?
I mean, besides like short of being an astronaut, which is like one of the most difficult things to do. I mean, you could try,
You
right?
could try, and you know what? But like, if I feel
You
like
could at least try. Where they're not even getting the opportunity
as long as
to
you
even
start
try.
by like, I feel like 25, you could find a way to get there.
You could if
you know?
if your whole life is dedicated
If your
to
whole
it.
life
Yeah.
is dedicated to it,
Yeah.
like you can find a way to get there. And I had never even like thought about the fact that I'm squandering opportunity. I went to a great high school, West Ranch out in Santa Clarita. Grew up in California, and dad was a Marine sergeant major. Made not like crazy money, but I think back then it was probably like 80
like
racks.
middle class, like
Yeah, he probably made like 80,000.
like doing good. Yeah.
You know, so it's like, it's not like we're really hurting. You know, looking back, like I have more now than I had then. So I was like, oh, maybe we weren't doing that well, but everybody was so happy in my family. Like everyone has that like weird happy gene where like
you guys
just
are very
can't-
happy.
Yeah, you just can't be upset for some reason. So I was like, I grew up thinking we were like extremely wealthy. I realized like, oh, maybe that's not the case when you're like sharing rooms your whole life and all that stuff.
Or when you
But
think like a Mazda is like a nice car. Or
yeah, like I thought the Toyota Corolla was the shit. I still think the Toyota.
You
I
love that Toyota Corolla.
I loved that Toyota Corolla.
What I love about this story, though, that you're telling me is that you are under, regardless of what you think about the United States involvement in other countries and meddling, at the end of the day, you were two humans in that moment who were learning, right?
Yes.
You're teaching them about things that are technically not necessary to survive, and they're teaching you things about how to think.
Oh, yeah,
you
it's
know?
like entire philosophies.
I mean, that's a really cool thing. So I want to talk about that day that everything changed when I believe you're playing volleyball, right? Or you're playing sports because you've like taken off your equipment in that moment.
Yeah.
So, well, let's take a quick break and just shout out our sponsors.
Yeah, shout out to Heartwater, Artisan Alkaline Rainwater, Still Rainwater, and Pink Himalayan Minerals.
There you go.
you
Always
like
taking
that?
care of you.
What is this? 23% of the profits flow to the Heartwater Foundation. We're improving the lives of children suffering poverty, disease, and addiction just by drinking this.
Just by drinking that.
Yeah, I like that.
So
Some of this we're not allowed to chat about.
okay.
I gotta like, I don't know what the rules are, but I remember what the rules were back then. I don't know how long you're subjected to those. But the short version of the story is, me and the interpreter, we're fucking around with the kids. We're
Let's say it a
playing
different
volleyball.
way. You're having fun and growing connections with
we're,
the youth.
We're having fun. So I climbed this roof of like a 1-2 story building. So I think the ball was up there or something like that. So I was like, and I'm not wearing anything. And I'm like, all right. let
Like
me
you've
just-
taken off
Yeah,
all your
I have-
protective equipment.
I'm wearing like they call it boots and utes, like the trousers with the boots,
Yep.
shirt.
Yeah.
And
Just chilling.
And that's it, chilling. Like I have weapons and they're like I'm being negligent.
Yeah.
You know, my interpreter has the weapons. There's another Marine there, and I think he's holding all of our stuff. So I climb on the roof of the building, and I'm standing up. So like I'm like the highest in the village.
You're
get
just a clear shot.
Clear shot, which is when we hear it, snap. So like it's like intended for you,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, what was that? and my interpreter screaming, he's like, Miller, get down, get down. And then I realized what's happening, and I'm like, oh geez, like I
Here
made
it
a
is.
mistake, heart's pumping.
Yeah.
And then
So when you heard that snap, it was because it was so close to your ear?
from what people tell me who are actual war fighters, is whistles like 15 meters, snap is 5.
Okay.
So it's like it's for you.
It was meant to hit you.
I imagine, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm glorifying the experience, but it was.
I mean, I don't think it was a warning shot, right?
I don't think it was a warning shot.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm creating as bright a silhouette as you could possibly get. But nothing happens. Everything is fine. This kind of evolves into a bigger story than it should have been with the ANA, and we end up shipping back. They pick me up and get me out of there like inside a week or something like that.
Well, because, and I think this part is public because a lot of, so that whole crew, that crew number 2, not everybody makes it out.
crew number 2's having serious issues as well.
Kind of the same things that happened with crew number 1 were meant to, that day was kind of similar.
I don't know if it was as bad. But I know that people are having issues with the ANA. So they get us out of that area in Sangin, like inside the week. You know, we do some complaints like, look, this happened. There's some like mortars going on. We're not really making progress. The ANA's kind of, the opinion of me has changed. Not of me, but like of our unit has kind of changed.
Well, because once that happened,
Everyone's on the edge a little bit.
yeah.
And it's no longer fun and games. So now my attitude towards the situation's changed a little bit.
Because now
So
you
there's-
realize again, hey, actually, wait, I'm at work. These are not my friends, and this is life or death. Whereas before, the week before, you're playing kids with volleyball with kids, and now it's like someone tried to kill me.
Yeah, it's not as fun. So they flew us back to like the big military base in Afghanistan, and we do basically nothing for like 2 months. Like
Is that
nothing.
like miserable?
I mean, you like work out and play basketball.
Yeah.
You know, like you do basically nothing.
What was that like? What do you think like happened from the ANA's perspective of you had all this infrastructure that you were working towards and you're building, and then all of a sudden it's completely gone?
No. There were still Marines in the area.
But they weren't building at that. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
they're just
you
there
know
as a
what?
presence.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea what happened to those particular ANA members, but we end up getting word in the future about what happens to some of our interpreters. So one of my, the person who was there with me, particularly in that area, there's only one Marine that was like attached with me. It was like, I was in charge of him, but like we're like the same age. So I think we had the same birthday. And shout out Lay. And he ends up sending me an article like years later, like we'd already got out, that shows that one of our interpreters was captured and what had happened to him. So obviously he was killed for being an interpreter, which is, a lot of people don't really appreciate the amount of danger these interpreters like really put themselves in. Cause like if, you know,
Or you're a traitor, technically. Like to their
you're looked at
eyes.
as I guess they're looked at as traitors, you know? So the level of danger they're in is way different than the level of danger like a Marine is in. Like you're just another Marine. And
So do they think that translators have like intelligence and
well,
things
yeah,
like-
you're only there for one reason. You're translating for an officer or for like an intel person. The Taliban, they're not stupid.
Yeah.
You know, they're not like a bunch of kids running around with guns. Like they have an
Structure.
organizational hierarchy. They have leadership. They have intelligence capabilities. You know, I'm obviously not like at the level of like a modern military, but they're not like a bunch of kids playing around.
I mean, they're controlling the situation
yeah, I guess
right now.
I guess they're controlling it now. Yeah, no comment on that one.
We won't
I know,
talk about that.
I
We won't
want
talk
to.
about
I
current
want
day,
to.
but you found out that
Yeah, so
one of
like
the interpreters.
yeah, one of him gets wrapped up, tortured, killed, and but I don't want to like really act like this was like really effective because my experience in Afghanistan was like 99.999% chill. Like almost every day, like you get so comfortable that you forget, at least for me, because you know, I think it's like 10% of Marines are infantry and like maybe 8% of the total Marine Corps like sees combat in today's military, maybe less than that. I don't know. I'm like, I forget what the numbers are, but it was like a single digit number. So I don't want to take away from the experience of like the real war fighters who have real war stories, who like really got in there and did
Who's
some
like
crazy
those bullets were every day.
the
type
bullets were every
stuff.
day. Like the
Yeah.
story's like nothing. They're like, oh, you think that's bad? Like I got hit, you know, and then the
But
firefight continued.
there's a place for both.
There's a place for both. So it's yeah, it's just all these things make the situation a lot more real.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of grow up. Like I said, it's hard to even like talk about this having a powerful effect on you when it's like your stories don't even pale in comparison to like people you know, like close friends who have real war stories.
I mean, yeah.
So
At the
it's like-
same time, I think that's almost like it's two things in your brain that's happening. It's one, your brain trying to protect itself, saying like it's okay, like you know, it's like your mom
that
saying
could
like
be
it
it.
didn't hurt, like your
Yeah.
knees, it's not broken, like you're okay. And then it's the other thing of like just being humbled by the fact that you had it a lot easier than someone else. But that doesn't necessarily negate the fact
Yeah.
that it was still hard.
Oh yeah, and everybody has like a different stress threshold for these situations. Like we
Yeah.
had one kid, it was a corpsman, who God, like a month or two in, was like threatening suicide, and you know he had some very disturbing issues, and he was in the same situation we're in, no more or less danger, and you know when you're a bunch of teenagers, 20 years old, like you bully these kids. It is so bad, like the way you treat people who have low stress thresholds, especially in the Marine Corps. Like it is so bad.
I mean, that's why you see so many mental health issues in the world today. I mean, even just the position that I'm in, I never let on how much stress I have ever. I mean,
Yeah.
I have very low days to where, I mean, the only person that sees it is my husband because I'm
Yeah.
not like, it's difficult to hide beside the person that you like, end up
Well,
with at
you
night.
gotta have somebody.
Yeah.
You gotta have someone.
Yeah.
I think I've like forced my mother to be that person for me.
I've
know.
seen you open up from time to time in over the course of the years. I've seen very
little snippets.
little snippets of moments
That's
where
why I
I'm
am
like,
a
oh,
romantic.
man.
It's always there's a theme with my stress.
So you're a romantic, you're a ladies' man.
I
That
wouldn't
does
say
get
that.
you
I
into
wouldn't say
some
that.
trouble. Okay, you're a yeah.
just
I don't know how
romantic.
you're trying to qualify
Just-
ladies'
just
man and romantic.
romantic.
Just romantic. Apparently, ladies' man's not a nice
Yeah,
thing.
he has been
Although,
in some trouble.
well, let's talk about that because if you want to say that you're not a ladies' man, let's go to law school. So let's fast forward to law school.
Yeah.
Did you or did you not?
That's where we met.
That's where we met. So just so everyone knows, Caleb and I, we're kindred souls. We're both Leos, and we both decided to take a 2-year fast-tracked law degree program, which means there's 6 of us in this program, and that means that Caleb and I instantly become best friends. I actually there was the way the class is structured. We had these name tags, and we're in the summer program, and I had to walk around and like go into a row and grab my name tag. And I grabbed my name tag, and since I'm already in this row, I'm like, well, I should just sit down in this row. Why leave and then go to another row? Because it's a hassle. And I look over, and you're sitting there, and I immediately look at you and think, like this guy's either gonna be really annoying.
Happy.
No, I mean it's 8 in the morning, so I'm thinking like he's either gonna be just like a total like full of himself, like you know you're well put together at 8 in the morning, like you obviously care about yourself, which means like you have a little bit of pompousness, and like I'm just like this guy's either gonna be like way too much to deal with, or he's gonna be chill because he's you know you got like chill water tattoos, and that's exactly what I see. So I'm like, and you look over and you smile, I'm like, okay, like I'll sit down, I'll give this guy a
Happy.
chance, and immediately you're like. I think within that day, you decided you look at me, and I don't.
It was within like 30 seconds.
No. It was within that day because we had talked and we became friends within that day because we had all the same classes. And so within that day, you look at me, you're like, we're going to be friends. Yeah. We're not going to hook up. We're going to be friends. Yeah. That's literally what you said to me.
Because I needed a friend. I didn't have any friends.
Yeah. Because then you decided to then immediately sleep with the entire law school.
Some people. I didn't like sleep with the whole law school. It's first off, I fall in love quickly.
Multiple times.
Oh, I fall out of love quickly too. That's the problem. It's like-
Did you or did you not sleep with somebody in the law school within a classroom?
I'll tell you about that.
You tell me about a lot of stuff.
It may or may not have happened. I don't know.
It may or may not have happened.
It may or may not have happened.
Okay, so let's
Oh man, when we're off the camera, I gotta tell you a story about that girl too. It's
no,
gonna-
go ahead and tell it.
Absolutely not.
Tell the
Absolutely not.
story.
This is gonna make me look like a demon.
Okay, well, we can cut it out if it's that bad.
We can cut it out.
Yeah.
You know, I ended up seeing her. God, like 'cause
It
you know
was
you know who I'm talking about,
It
right?
was the skinny one, right? The real skinny one.
The one that you
The
said.
little crazy one.
A little different.
Okay,
a little
okay,
different.
okay,
you know,
okay.
she
Sweet girl.
sweet girl, a little different. So I ended up seeing her again like 3 years later, out of like,
It's like a year ago. Okay, so what happened?
yeah,
Did you
like
did you
2 years
smash?
ago.
Did you?
Hell no.
Okay, because yeah.
She had morphed a little bit.
Oh
She
yes,
did-
yes,
she
yes.
did- she
Don't
looked-
say that out loud. Yes, yes.
Looked
You told me.
Looked
Yes,
nothing.
yes, yes, yes.
I thought I was meeting her for the first time. Hey, how you doing? I'm Caleb Miller. It's nice to meet you.
Did
And,
you actually do that?
Yeah.
You actually didn't recognize her?
The differences were crazy.
Okay. So what
anyways.
happened in that moment?
And what in that moment?
No. In the part that makes you look bad.
No, we'll go back. So let me tell you how I meet this girl first. So it wasn't like it wasn't like I just randomly was in law school like, oh, I'm slinging dick. Basically what had happened is we were in that mediator class where we had to like go to the courthouse and do mediations. And she's like, oh, I need a ride to the mediator thing. I got to conduct a mediation. So we go. She has no mediations. And so I had a couple, and then she's like waiting for me. She's like, oh, I need a ride home. I guess it wasn't my day. Schedule's bad. So we're like riding home, and then she goes, oh man, I got to get my car. I think it's broken down. Like, you just like come hang out and like go to my room real quick. And I'm thinking like semi-innocent, but I'm like, this is a little, and she's talking about her boyfriend the whole ride.
Okay.
Like,
Like I talked about my fake fiance
yeah, like, they're telling lies. Telling
with
lies.
the whole diamond on my hand. Anyways,
Yeah, why
we
you
don't
lying?
have to talk about that. We'll talk about
That's one way to get boys away from you, though.
literally.
You are a specialist in getting boys away from you.
I
It was
didn't want to
like-
deal with it.
It was I might have been like one of your three
You
friends.
were one of friends. Like
Yeah.
I barely had any friends.
Well, we got to get back to why that is, because we need to put this on the record of why. The same reason Earth Rides took off is the same reason you're so unbearable sometimes.
Which is
Dude, you got rid of Donut Day at the whole school.
my
You got rid of
God.
Donut Day and replaced it with fucking Cantaloupe Day. Are you kidding me?
Cantaloupes brain. Okay,
That's a terrible policy decision. No voters.
well, it doesn't matter when you're a dictatorship.
You just
right?
you
I
just
took-
advocated
I took it.
advocated. You guys are doing this wrong. This is unhealthy. This is to the detriment of the students, and petition.
So there was a
And
girl
next thing
in
you know, next
contracts.
thing you know, we don't have pizza and donut day. You can't do that to the boys.
We had salad. We had this
Salads.
organic fruits and vegetables that no one appreciated. These were the foods that were going to Soho and Nobu and Malibu, and none of my law school appreciated this. We're in law school getting freaking Chick-fil-A and McDonald's
Yeah.
we're. I mean, I don't even want to say like what it is, because that type of food shouldn't
You
be
don't
consumed
have
by
to
anybody.
petition against that
I didn't
option.
petition. What happened was
You got it replaced.
I didn't. No. What happened was, this is what happened.
The
As I
donuts
was
were
getting
gone.
pissed off that I like how you change the subject, and I'll bite.
Oh, yeah,
'cause
yeah,
you know,
we'll get back.
We'll get back. But
My mind jumps around.
I was pissed off that every single time, because there were so many options at law school for free food,
Yeah.
and I wasn't 100% scholarship. Like, I have a debt. So I know what my money is going towards. It's going towards this bullshit, and I didn't want to eat it because to me it wasn't fair that all the food there wasn't food that I could eat. And so I went to the deans and I was like, "Yo, make something shake, get some organic food in here." And they were like, "No, but here's the budget if you want to do it." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Like, why do I have to do it? Fine, I'll do it. Whatever. I'll eat the food that I want to eat, and I'll bring I would wake up at 6:30 in the morning to have that food all there and prepared. And
It is so impressive how you did actually do that, though. Like, free food
I got all the way
actually
up to
got
the
in there.
general counsel at Pepperdine and was trying to like negotiate for
Like
the
a food deal?
and they were like,
Did you ever even go to that cafeteria they had?
like ate there?
Yeah, like on the bottom,
I mean, I went in.
like on the undergrad
Did I
campus.
ever eat
That
there?
cafeteria was popping.
In what ways?
Like, it had all the delicious food. Not like food that you would like.
Food that like nourished your body and your brain. It didn't have
All,
that.
yeah, all food nourishes
Okay,
your
so
body
you're a
and brain.
ladies' man. You're in law school.
Oh, jeez.
You and me and your very good friend Sal, we go out, and I'm gonna blast you. I want to talk about the first time you won a case.
My first
Your
case
first
victory.
case, your first case victory. So you, me, and your friend, we all go out. You guys come over to my house first, and because I'm not drinking at the time, I'm the designated DD. I know in your mind right now you're figuring out how to tell the story.
I'm gonna tell the truth.
You're gonna tell the truth.
I'm gonna
Okay.
tell the truth.
So we go out. I'm the DD, and
The truth's not gonna make me look good, though.
no, and we all come back. You don't have to tell the story. We all come back.
It's my hero origin story. is what
And
it
I
is.
put you two on the floor. Like, I have the pillows, I have the blankets, I tuck the boys in, right? You're
The boys
grown
are
ass
tucked.
men, and I tuck them
We're
in.
plastered. We're
It's a
tucked.
studio, so my bed and y'all are literally, we're like 2 feet
Yeah,
away.
I think
could
you
put
drove.
my hand down.
I think you drove my car. So like my car is there, right?
Yep, your
Yeah.
car is there. I drove it. Sal's car is there. I close my eyes. I relax. We've had a great night. We're safe. life is good. The boys are good.
It's like
I'm good.
1:15.
We're good.
The night's over.
Everything's good. It's
No
probably
more fun to
later
be
than
had.
that. And all of a sudden, because I live in my house in Malibu, you had to roll the gate open. I hear the gate. And I think to myself, well, what's that? But it was I lived in like a mother-in-law suite. So I was like, maybe it's the homeowners. And then because I parked the car right in front of the studio, your lights come on in front of the window. And I look over and you're gone. And I'm like, Sal, your friend. I'm like, Sal, wake up. And as I'm trying to wake up Sal, which I should have just ran outside, you just hear Caleb and just peel off.
I definitely didn't peel off. I don't know about that.
Off.
It's not in
I
my
didn't have
nature. I
time
take my
to-
time. I'm a patient guy.
I didn't have time to chase you. And I called you. I remember I called you like once or twice because I'm like, I know you're inebriated. You need to come back. And what were you going to go do?
So I got the text that everyone's gotten. It's like 1:15. My phone buzzes, and it's do you want to come over? Yeah, sweet girl named Kelsey. And I'm
Oh,
like,
you're gonna blast her. We're gonna beep that out.
I'm not gonna.
We're gonna beep that out.
Beep that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't gonna drop a last name on you, but I get a text, and this girl's a doll. She's too cute. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not drunk. I can make that drive. To go do what I gotta do. So I'm driving down Malibu Canyon, and I told you what I got pulled over for, right?
For going too slow.
For going too slow. I thought in my head, I'm like, man, you gotta concentrate. This is Malibu Canyon. People die on this canyon. So in my head, I'm thinking I'm going like a cool 30, which I think is the speed limit on Malibu Canyon. I'm going like a cool 30, and cops are behind me, and I'm like, lights go on. I'm like, there's no way. I didn't do anything. There's no way. Like I was focused.
Yeah. You were focused on the mission.
I was just focused. I knew what I was doing.
You knew where you were going.
I'm
and
focused
what
on
you
the
were gonna
mission.
Go do.
I know what I'm
You were
gonna
go
do.
execute.
I was gonna go execute, and cop comes up. He's like, typical cop question. You know why I pulled you over? I said, I don't know, officer. I feel like I was driving straight and the speed. He goes, why are you going so slow? Are you okay? And I go, well, how slow was I going? I'm not thinking. I wasn't prepared for that question. How slow was I going? He's like, like 10 miles an hour. Like, are you all right? And I'm like, and then I forget whatever it is I say. And he goes, have you been drinking? And I sit there and like, I remember there's like a 3-second pause. I'm like, yeah.
You said yes?
Yeah. Cause I was like, what am I going to do? Lie? I'm drunk.
Yeah.
I'm on the road. I shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I'm making a mistake.
Yeah.
It's like, what, 2 months into law school too? Like, we haven't even started 1L because in the 2-year program, you have you take the first summer of electives, then you start the 1L everyone else does.
It was before. We
Yeah, it
hadn't
was-
even started.
So yeah, it was like a month or
I'm
two.
already in your shenanigans.
Yeah, I've known you like 45 days.
Oh my God.
And
Thankfully, I didn't drink anymore because then I would have probably been sitting there on the passenger seat. Let's go.
I think you
get
would drink with me like twice, and then like all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I'm a new woman.
The
I
one
don't drink
time I
anymore."
drank with you, no, the last time actually
Oh,
that I
and
got
Santa
drunk.
Clarita when you came to the
The
family
last
home.
time I got drunk was
That
with
was the
you.
last
No.
time you got
The
drunk?
last time I got drunk was at Barrister's Ball
That was lit.
when I fell walking in. We were all late because you were like,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
because I remember being like,
I was-
I can drink as much as, because back in the day, I could drink as much as Marine. I was like, I could drink as much as Marine. I could do it. I could ask,
You could do like
ask
a
my old
shot. You could do like a
homies.
shot or
Ask
two.
my old, but I tried to keep up with y'all. I drank as much as y'all drank. I did drink as much as you drank. Did I
Stop
fall
it.
walking
Stop
into
it.
an event?
You face planted.
So long story short, did
Oh,
you
and
get
we took
arrested?
those cute photos from my mom. It was
Oh,
so
very-
we
I
were the
was
we were
falling
the
in
we were
the
the most
photos.
we're the most adorable.
I'm falling in the photos, Caleb.
most adorable couple.
Literally, the photos. I don't even want to put a screenshot in. There's 4. It's one of those 4
You put the
photos.
screenshot in.
And like in the I'm like in
We
the
looked
back
good.
of a group, and I'm kind of like looking off, and it just my mind's gone.
No,
And-
the
and
ones at the front of the house.
Oh yeah, those. Oh,
Those
those
were
were
solid
cute.
photos.
Do you still have those?
Pff,
We gotta find those.
maybe.
Yeah. Those were fire. Okay, but no, the photos I'm talking about is like it's a progression of me falling.
Yeah.
Basically, is like I'm
Money.
looking off, and then I realize there's a camera, and then I'm trying to get to the front, and then I'm falling down.
Face plant.
So the officer takes you in.
Yeah. They like take me to
I'm passed out.
like jail or whatever. I try to call well, I actually tried to call Kelsey. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I was like
That was your one phone call. She's not bailing you out.
I was like, hey, something happened. And they held me in there for like, I don't know, like 8 hours or something like that. And so I get out and I'm like, all right, I just got arrested for DUI. This is like, I've never been arrested before. Like, what am I doing? Like, who makes that kind of mistake?
You're trying to become an attorney, and
I'm trying to become an
trouble.
attorney. 45 days into law school.
Yeah.
I'm arrested for DUI.
So how'd you beat it? How'd you beat your first case?
So, in law school, they give you access to all these legal search engines and stuff like that. So I get linked up with this attorney who's like, hey, I'm going to, subpoena the records and get the video, audio, and take a look at how you did on the sobriety test, see if there's something wrong with the test, whatever those kind of lawyers do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on Westlaw, like, I got to figure something out. Like, there's got to be something. And I come across, I think it's Penal Code 1001.1 or 1000.1, and it's the military diversion program. I couldn't believe this. It's like California has, like, if you were a veteran,
mm-hmm.
and you can tie any misdemeanor that you do to, like, military training or PTSD or something like that, then you basically get like a free sealed records. It never happened. Here's your freebie. Get out of jail free card. So I made this argument that I was like, look, the Marine Corps has done such a good job of making me, approach risk, accept the risk, and, move forward with my goals anyways. And this is hammered into us from boot camp all the way through Afghanistan. I gave a story all the way through Afghanistan. So, for years I'm being trained in one purpose, and that's to accept the risks in order to accomplish the goal. And I think at the time, that's kind of what I did, is I understood there were risks. I know what I'm doing is wrong, but I've been so conditioned to take that risk on anyways and move forward that I just didn't really appreciate the kind of danger I was putting myself and others in.
Because the type of danger that I've been put in
is just nothing compared to this.
Nothing.
I'm driving too slow.
Like, I'm
driving too slow.
I'm saving people's lives.
I'm like Batman.
Oh my gosh.
Saving lives.
And they ate it up.
They ate it up. So they're like, all right, you know what? Go to the alcohol class, and you'll do like 3 months of veteran therapy, which ended up being just one phone call, and you're done. So like a few months later, record sealed, never happened, no issue with that. So that was my first legal victory. That's the hero origin story of what we'll get to, which becomes Miller Wilmer's APC.
Miller Wilmer's APC. I will have to say, shout out though, because then you couldn't drive, so I got to use your car.
Yeah.
Which was the highlight
what was that,
of it
like
all.
30 days?
It was
of just,
like 60 days.
Was it 60
I mean,
days?
it might have been 90 days. It was, I think it was 3 months that you didn't.
Whatever it was, I was catching Ubers to...
from like Santa Clarita to
from like Malibu to... Because remember, I started dating that one girl in law school.
I mean, you did many girls. You ruined one of my... I found a girl. We're not going to name her. I found a woman in law school, and I remember saying, like, talking
Imitate
to her. What?
Imitate
We're not
her.
going to imitate her.
I knew you were talking about her.
I'm still salty about
I'm
this
still friends
because
with her.
I'm so salty about. I'm not, because we were like,
Yeah, you guys are
I thought
enemies
we were
now.
on this. We're not enemies, but I just thought we were on the same page of like the goals and stuff that we want. And then like she literally sleeps with you within 2 seconds of meeting you, and I was like, homie, that's not what I thought we were about.
When you're winning cases, 45 days into law school, yeah, you choose that guy. That's a winner. No.
So you go to Big Law. Let's fast track through.
We'll fast track the career all the way to Big Law.
Why'd you leave Big Law? I mean, you're making like
I started at a
buku's
small to mid-sized firm.
Yeah. You owned it. You literally
Owned it.
created an Olympics.
I was like a rock star. Yeah, the Olympics. So like every Friday I held the Miller Olympic Games, where all the staff, you could win prizes, which I paid for out of pocket. And
Except for the partners couldn't play.
The partners were allowed to play, but they're not allowed to win.
Okay.
And if they do win, then there's no credit given. So only staff can win, and then I give out prizes, typically like dinners.
So you're immediately creating enemies within the partners, because now all the office staff likes
most
you.
of the attorneys and partners loved it. There was one partner in particular. Well, she hated it because I would start an email off like,
Oh, you were really intense with you. I read them.
Yeah, how
on
funny
Instagram.
was that?
I mean,
Like,
they were hilarious.
Happy
but
Friday, Game 6 of the Miller Olympic Games. I'd give like a rule set, prize, teams, and then I would sign off the people's partner.
The people's
the
partner.
people's partner. Kind of like because The Rock was the people's champ.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm the people's partner.
And that really pissed off the real partners.
One partner in general. She hated it so much. She ended up writing me up. She's like, you can't be the people's partner. It's not a real title. I was like, I know it's not a real title. It's just.
It's a game. It's a game.
She's not even in my department. She's like in PI and I'm doing employment. And so like the head of employment comes to me. I remember this is like the craziest thing. I'm in my office putting in work. It's like, son, I'm like, oh, I'm almost embarrassed to even say it. You can't call yourself the people's partner anymore. I'm like, dude, I named the person. I'm like, does she complain? Yeah, man. And look, we need to have a conversation. I was like, I won't be the people's partner anymore. He goes, okay, we'll leave it at that. I was like, we'll leave it at that.
But didn't you like subtly keep calling yourself?
Yeah, I like changed my title. What was it?
Like
It was
not the people's partner?
No, I was the people's shareholder.
The people, they didn't like that either.
Because I said
did
I
they?
hold a share in our happiness. I hold a share in the love of the firm. And I would sign it like that. And it just got worse. But anyways, after like, I was there for almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 20 months. And dude, rock star. Just having the time of my life, winning cases like for the man, the corporation. And I genuinely felt like I deserved to be playing in the big leagues. So like I apply and like sure enough, get it right out the gate.
Yeah.
Go to a firm. They bring me to Orange County. It's like a doubling my salary. Like, and now I'm out earning my father. Now I'm out earning like the entire family tree.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is gonna be what's like, this is what sets me apart. Cause the person I dated longest in law school graduates like number 1 in the class.
Which is not the reason that you dated her.
No, that's not the reason I dated her.
Not at all.
No. She's adorable, a little college cheerleader, just the cutest
You weren't
thing.
trying to get the outlines.
I wasn't trying to get the outlines.
Okay.
You know what? Speaking about, a little pause real quick.
Okay.
This girl, she is so sweet. Broke her heart. I feel terrible about it. And she like taught me how to study. So like, in our
She made
electives,
you.
our electives were all essays, so they're super easy. You get like guaranteed A's. But once 1L started, our very first midterm was torts, multiple choice.
Ooh, I did so bad. I did so bad.
Oh, I'm about to one up how bad you can do.
You lied to me. You said you got straight A's.
I got the first.
You lied to me. I know for a fact you tried to make me feel bad. You literally lied to me. You
no
lied
one's
to me.
ever
You
no
said
one's
you got
ever
straight
accused
A's.
me against straight A's.
No, you told me.
I think 1L I
You're
got
like,
all
yeah.
A's and a C though. The
You
C
made it
was
sound
LRW,
like a
sure
lot
enough.
better.
So we that torts midterm drops and I'm like at this point like I'm convinced because undergrad's like it's kind of simple.
Yeah, you think you're gonna it's gonna be a breeze.
Yeah, like you don't really have to study as long as you know the general concepts.
Yeah.
So it's multiple choice. And they print out the class order by your student number or whatever number they give you. I think they give you a number specific to the midterm. And I'm like looking for my number. And I'm like, all right, I'm not in the top 5, 10, 15, 20. Ass last by like 3 questions. Like it was a gap. There was like me.
You were like dead
I was
last.
ass last.
You've never told me. Your ego never.
I couldn't, dude. My ego couldn't tell anyone. and I'm starting to date the girl who ends up becoming
Number 1.
Graduates number 1.
Yeah.
And I don't really tell her I took last. I said, I'm having a hard time figuring out how to study for law school because I've never really like studied before. Like,
Yeah.
is this something I have to do differently? And that's for anyone who has dreams of going to law school. If you're smart in undergrad, everyone's smart there.
Yeah.
Like everybody's on top
If
of
you're
their
athletic,
shit.
it's like the Olympics. Everyone's athletic.
Everyone's fast.
Everyone's good.
Like you're not that special anymore. So in law
Literally.
school, I learned very quickly I'm not special.
Yep.
Ass last. And then she's the one who's like breaking it down, how to read the question properly, how to look at
Should have been
the
dating y'all.
answers.
We
And
could have had a little.
dude, she had
Jeez.
us in the library forever. And then that's when me and Saba get really close. Shout out Saba Shada. I hope I see you soon. Yeah, he's the man.
We love him.
Good looking guy, man. So fresh.
Last time I saw him, he was sitting there crying on the.
you think I was talking to too many people. Saba was the man.
No, but he had.
Saba was
Let's
the
not
man.
dive into other people's
Beautiful
messes.
man. And so him and I are like going hard, like fucking like 15-hour study sessions. I did end up getting an A in that class. Made a comeback on the final exam because the finals worth like 100%. But that wake up call was rough. So I don't even remember what got us into that conversation. Where was
So
that?
back
Oh, yeah,
to Big Law. So you get accepted. I want to talk about what it was like to have a partner in Big Law who was so demeaning to you and was just terrible. Let's talk about that.
I don't want to like really put it on him. So this man was probably the hardest working man I'd ever met in my life.
Okay, he's a great guy, but he's also an asshole.
He's an ass.
An absolute. To the point where he just tells you, come into the office.
This is how I should have
get
known.
on your knees, and then it'll all go
This
well.
is how I should have known. When I get there's like 6 partners that have been there since the beginning of time. And like 3 of them come up to me like, oh man, you're like his 6th associate. Like he's running out of favors, you know, to get his personal associate. I'm like, what do you mean by that? Like everyone quits or asks for a transfer? Like, you know, good luck. And there's one partner I swear was on a vendetta. Like he would take me to lunch and just run his mouth about this guy. I felt terrible about it. And at first the relationship,
And you're like, I'm up to the challenge.
I was like,
I'm a
I'm
Marine.
up to the
I
challenge.
can do this.
I'm a Marine.
committed.
Like, I work
Let's do
hard.
it.
I was at a small firm billing 200 hours. Like I'm born to bill 200 hours. Like I love that life.
Yeah.
And now that you're paying me what you're paying me,
Let's do it.
you can't stop me.
Yeah.
You cannot stop me. Too diligent, too excited, too ambitious. And then the truth comes out. First off, we can compete at that level. What I learned about big law attorneys is they were no different than all the friends you had in law school. They just happened to get the job.
Yeah.
Some of them are happy, some of them are miserable, some of them are working forever, some of them find a way to manage it in an 8-9 hour day. So it's like it's no different than any other firm. And the systems and processes they have are no different than any other firm. So it's like the same thing. So I get with this partner who he's like I said, the hardest working man on earth, 7 days a week, all day, every day. You will get a text or a phone call at 10 o'clock. And I go to bed at like 9, wake up at 5. That's like my routine. Wake up at 5, work out, jiu-jitsu. And this guy would hit you up at 10. I need this. There's like a 3-hour project. Like, and then when he talks to you, I don't know if his social skills weren't the best, but it's like super
Demeaning.
Yeah. And he would like say things that I felt like were like left field. Like, I don't know, or he'd be like, I just don't know if I should write you up or what, because I asked you to do this morning and it's not done. Like, what am I supposed to do with you? And I'm like, I'm
doing it.
I'm doing it right now. Like, we didn't even get a deadline. Like, you want me to move this to the front? Well, the other stuff's important too. Like, you should have it all done. I'm like, well, you give me a little time. Like, and then I'm starting to realize, like, okay, I get it. So this female attorney just made partner. Super fine.
Okay, let's not demean women.
And
she's also intelligent.
She is very intelligent.
There we go.
So she takes me to lunch.
Okay.
And she's
Her
like,
first mistake.
No. She was a doll. And she goes, Caleb, I just want you to know, like, I was the associate before you with that partner. And, you know, he's made me cry on multiple occasions. And it was so difficult. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to keep doing it. And I've slowly transitioned out of doing his work. And I just want to take you to lunch because I don't know what kind of, she hasn't heard anything yet. Like, I've been like taking it. I haven't really said anything. She goes, so I just want you to know, like, eventually he's going to like snap or something. He's going to do something.
Yeah.
And
it's like an ex-girlfriend being like, by the way, he's abusive. He's going to hit you.
And it was like, it wasn't even like a chill lunch because normally like a partner takes an associate out to lunch. You get to know each other. You're laughing. If you guys vibe well, you'll probably work together on future cases. So I'm thinking like, okay, she's telling me like her husband's into fighting, you know, like he does his Muay Thai tournaments, like he loves jiu-jitsu, like maybe he'll come to my tournaments.
She's there to lay down the law. Hey, you're gonna get hit in the face.
Yeah,
this man's
so like
gonna hit you.
She starts with like the husband and we have similar interests and like I would love for you guys to meet, and so I'm all excited, like, yeah, like actually I think I would like to meet him. Like, it sounds like a dope guy right there. And then she gets into the person I'm working for.
Yeah.
All negative.
Yeah.
All negative. And I'm already experiencing it, but like I don't want to like sound like a bitch.
Yeah.
Because first off, I'm given an opportunity. This is just back to Nayat in Sabat Kadam.
You could be sitting in third world country.
I have an opportunity right now that some people will never have. That people who, you know, they can try their very best and they'll never get this opportunity, you know? And I have it. Like I'm not about to get it. I have it. Like the money's hitting my account. I've been here for months. And so I'm like, what right do I have to complain when I feel like I'm the one that's going to buy my mom the vacation home? You know, I like, not that she's ever asked me to, but like, those are my motivations. Like, I'm going to put her in the sick house or the bonus house or the vacation house. And I'm going to take my brothers on vacation. All my friends are going to go to Italy on my back and I want to be stoked to do it. So I cannot fuck this opportunity up.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
She gives me the warnings. It continues. And, backtrack a little bit. I left in November 2021, the mid-sized job, the mid-firm job where I'm like a rock star and everybody loves me and I'm having fun and bonuses are coming and it's just
Olympics.
it's all yeah, the Olympics.
Yeah.
It's all fun and games. And
then you go to hell.
me and this there was another like really fresh associate named Justin Wilmers who was in the personal injury department. He's like me, but in another department. Just fun. Everyone liked him. He's not like a mouthpiece like me, but he's, you know, a tall, good-looking kid, very well-spoken, extremely professional. Like the most professional person. He's got his shit together more than anyone I know. And so him and I had this dream to build our firm, and we were going to leave the law firm together January 1st, 2022. We're going to leave that law firm together, start our plaintiff's practice, and hope for the best. But because I had got this offer in November 2021, I tell him, I'm like, look, Justin, like, I love this idea, and I think that we're going to do it. But I have an opportunity right now that you don't say no to.
Yeah.
Like,
I got to go see what's on the other side.
I made the mistake that, you know, every motivational speaker's ever said, you know, like I took the heroin of a salary. And I mean, you know, like early on, like when Earthrise was nothing, you're like, hey, why don't you come in, you get a percentage. Oh, geez, I'm going to regret that for the rest of my life. I'm going to regret that for the rest of my life. You're
could have
balling
been some easy money.
Could have been, I could have been a millionaire next year.
Well,
it is what it is.
You still will be in a different way because
different
now
sense.
you have your own practice. But
yeah. So I turned down Justin's plan to do this. And now that I'm like starting to feel miserable, things that normally would have never gotten under my skin are now like so painful that like I can't take it anymore. It's like things that never even would have touched my stress threshold are like unbearable, because in my heart, it's not, this person is not the partner I should be working for. He's nothing compared to the you know, my last boss. It's, I know what I said no to be here, and I don't like it. And the reason I'm here is because I didn't believe in myself enough to go and do it on my own. I was so focused on proving my worth with a high salary number that I felt like if I had the high salary, then people will see Caleb as like a huge success. Like, this is the greatest comeback story in all of middle America. You know, the bad student damn near drops out military, you know, comes out of it and, you know, gets the big salary. Like, I'm eating this stuff up in my own head as if it's a real thing. Nobody gives a fuck. But as if it's a real thing. And I'm like, my friends are going to be proud and my parents are going to be proud. And they were proud. But like, nobody really cared as long as I was happy.
yeah, it's like, cool, whatever.
And so like 3-4 months in, I'm just like, I know why I really did this. It had nothing to do with getting other people proud of me. It was a way to escape the fear of no money, the fear of failure, which I think like everybody, like, I think kind of gets a little afraid of that. But for me, it was like, I cannot fail again. Like, I'm out of failures. Like, you know,
It's time to be an adult.
God
and
or
go,
the
like,
universe
normal
or
way.
whoever it is has like taken care of me so many times. Like, every time I make a mistake, it's like I get out of it. You know, like,
You're blessed in that way.
I'm blessed. I have an
Very
angel.
much
Like,
so.
I'm blessed like nobody else is. So it's like I can't afford to fail again. So what was the bigger failure? If I leave this job, or is the bigger failure having a game plan on paper, well thought out, of how we're going to start this firm and ditching it, completely abandoning it, telling Justin, hey, sorry, man, I got the money. I'm going to see you later. I start realizing like I am so disappointed in myself because like how could I ever like really be the person that I want to be if I don't even have control of my life? Like I'm beholden to the cell phone. Like, if the boss calls, I got to answer. I got to work. Like,
I was trying to get you to come out to Nashville. You had, like, were here for 20 seconds. You're
I was
like,
there for
gotta
two
go.
and a half
Sorry.
days.
I'm like, what the heck?
It was a blast.
I was like, aren't you making a bunch of money? Like, you can't take two. It was the weekend too. You're like, no, I gotta do this thing. And it was a Sunday. I was like, what is
because
happening?
the work is nonstop.
So how did it end? It was like a big deal. Like, he was like really intense.
Dude, it was crazy how it ended. It was like from a movie, but only I like saw the punchline and nobody else saw the punchline.
I saw the punchline because I was like, this is insane.
We're at lunch, a couple partners there, and they're trading stories that are like, they're so stupid, not like dumb, but like the stories. Like, one partner is talking about, you know, haven't been to any of my son's games this year. He plays lacrosse or something. And I'm like, oh, go to the next games. You know, I'm really busy. Oh, how many games do you have left? You know, the season's up for like another month. I'm like, how many have you been to? I haven't been to any. You know, kids don't really, you know, they're not really happy with me about that, but, you know, making a bunch of money and doing all this stuff. And people were laughing like, yeah, but you're making a bunch of money and da-da-da. And I actually, at the time that the story was told, I was like, yeah, but you're making a bunch of money. Like I was kind of agreeing with the sentiment.
Yeah.
Another partner tells a similar story. An associate tells a story about how, I wish I got married and had kids, but now she's, probably too old for that. And is also talking about, her career was so important to her.
Yeah.
But that's not what she wasn't talking about the career. She was talking about how it's so hard to date. It's so hard to find a good man. I wish I would have had kids. And I don't even really take in how serious these conversations are because everyone's happy and toasting. We're having shots.
You're at a nice swanky restaurant.
Yeah,
all in your
we're chilling. I think we're
suits.
Javier's or something.
Yeah.
And so I go back home and I'm dating this girl, Margaret, at the time. And I tell her what happened. And I was like, I feel like I just took a peek into my future. And I know in some circles, I have a little reputation for dating around. And I was like, I can totally see myself being that guy who's so in love with his image and his work that the marriage is failing.
He never settles down. He never has kids.
Never
or
settles down.
He's never a good
has
father.
kids, or I'm not a good father, or I'm not a good husband.
Yeah.
Which are my dad is a great
not
father.
things that your father's a good man, a
good man,
husband,
great
a good
father,
father.
great
Yeah.
husband. My mom's great in all those things, and they were at all the games, for all the brothers. My dad coached half of them, and so then I see it.
Mm-hmm.
I see everything. I see my future, and I'm talking to Margaret, and we'd been dating for a little bit, and I'm like, this is gonna be terrible that we broke up. And I tell her we've been going to on a lot of really cool dates and a lot of expensive restaurants, and I think I'm gonna do something that's gonna put all that in jeopardy. I think I'm going to quit the job, and I don't really have a plan. And maybe I'll get another job, or I'll see if Justin wants to open the firm or something. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm going to quit.
Yeah.
Like next week. And so I'm not gonna be able to do these things for you. And then she's like, Caleb, you like to do those things. She's like, I don't want to go to Javier's for drinks. I don't want to pal around in Irvine and go to whatever other expensive, stupid place we go to. She's like, that's all you.
Yeah.
She goes, I just want to be with you. She just wants to cook. I know. Beautiful, beautiful girl. And I'm just like, oh, geez. So as long as I have her by my side, she'll always be by my side. Then this is going to be a decision I can make. So I literally put in my 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Extends, ends up being 4 weeks because
Yeah.
they need time to replace me or whatever. So I want to make sure everybody has enough time. And I leave the last day of April or something.
Uh-huh.
No job. No, I haven't applied anywhere. I kind of think I'm gonna start a firm, but not really. So I talked to Justin, call him up. I'm like, hey, Miller Wilmers is gonna happen. He goes, my wife's due in July. It's I can't do that. Now's not the time. I was like, well, I quit my job, so I don't really have another option.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of gonna do this with or without you. And he goes, okay, I understand. I'll join you afterwards, and we'll figure it out from there. So my confidence is shot. I'm like, Jesus, maybe I should go get another job. I don't know. And I end up asking to meet up with him and his wife together.
Yeah. Because you're I know what I'm going to do.
I know what I'm gonna do.
Sweet talk him.
I hardly had to. So it's I put together the shell of a website.
Yeah.
It
I
looked
remember.
yeah, the website looks beautiful now.
Yeah. Yeah.
mwjustice.com. Miller Wilmers APC. And the website's my baby right now. It's all me. And so I put the shell is trash, but it's a shell. Has our
Yeah.
names on it. Has a little logo. And it's cool. So I showed Justin, and now he's kind of into the idea. But he's still so hesitant because his baby's right around the corner. He already has a good job. They're going to let him take 24 weeks paid leave because they're that kind of firm. The firm we're at was you could literally,
They take care of you.
yeah. They take care of you.
You stay there. You don't necessarily, you're not.
An insurance defense firm called Pool Shaffery, Kegley. They
good
take care
people.
of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them a shout out because I like them so much.
Yeah.
Especially Brian Kegley. And so Justin has a lot to lose now. I've already lost mine. So
How'd you convince him?
his wife.
His wife was like, what? You need to go do this?
Yeah, his wife, Kelly, she's been on some TV shows and stuff, Kelly Goss. She kind of helped push him over the edge. So when we're all sitting together, she was advocating harder for us to do our firm than I ever did. Because with Justin, I'm like, he's a
Well,
professional
it's
person.
tough because you don't want someone to lose It's like, oh, you got this.
And he's a
big-
little risk averse,
Yeah,
and I don't want
yeah.
to like scare him into being like, we got to do this. This was our game plan.
Yeah.
She was on his ass at that dinner or whatever it was. Like, Justin, you've been talking about this forever. Like, you want to do this. Like, don't you want to like run your own firm? You're always talking about being your own boss. Like, grilling him for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like, she's the hero.
She's the hero of the
Kelly
story.
Goss is the hero of Miller Wilmer's APC because she pushed Justin.
Off the cliff.
She like basically bullied him into starting a firm with me. I know, it was amazing. So, but like in the beginning, I could tell like he wouldn't resign.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna resign next month. I'm gonna resign in a week after that. So like I put together the case management software. The website gets done up. You know, I got to deal
So
with.
you're just going forward.
I'm
and
going
he's
forward, just
not-
hoping he kind of joins me
Yeah,
eventually.
yeah.
And then once everything's kind of in place, he's like, okay, I'll do it. I was actually with him because his boss was my old boss. So I was actually with him when he resigned. You know, put in
Like
his 2
physically
weeks.
there?
I was physically there. I was,
Oh
I was
my
at the meeting.
God.
This guy, dude, he was so cool. He's like, Justin, now you're leaving me. You're breaking my heart, son. And like, he meant that shit. Like, there was no smile. Like, you're breaking my heart, son.
Yeah.
Even I like eye watery. I was like, ooh. I
Ooh.
was like, Justin,
Wish somebody
don't.
loved me
I
about
was like, don't leave this job, Justin.
So now you guys have a successful firm within less than a year, really. It's
Yeah, we
it's
opened
been-
June 1st of this year.
Of this
We
year,
have
yeah.
like 40, 50 active cases already.
Amazing.
And it's all completely organic marketing. Our,
So proud
our
of you.
firm overhead is like $900 a month.
You don't have to blast your business. Blast your business. Blast your
I'm
business.
blasting business.
Blast your business.
Because I'm going to tell everybody who wants to start a firm, the technology is available. The case
Yeah.
management software is cheap. You can
Yeah.
do everything remote. COVID-19, as terrible as it was, blessed attorneys with the ability to work remote.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the inside of a courtroom in years because you don't have to. It's like done over like a Zoom type thing.
Yeah.
All your arguments, motions, other than trial, you can do it all on Zoom. So the firm can have a low overhead, and then when we collect a settlement, like that's just us. Like we're just getting paid. We have a business line of credit to take on the costs of a suit because we're a contingency firm. One of those like you don't pay until we win. So we adopted that.
So you gotta
model.
win.
Yeah.
And
So
how often are you winning?
well, that's a funny question when you ask attorneys, like, how often do you win? Because they all say, I've never lost. Well, the reason they've never lost is if they know they're going to lose,
Settled.
they settle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they know they're going to win, like
But you're doing well for your clients. Is the point?
we're doing well.
Yeah.
We're getting settlements that they're happy with, and I mean, we just opened June 1st, and we're already bringing decent cash in. Like
You're busting at the seams and you're doing great.
we don't have enough time for the cases we have right now to the point where like Justin's really big on wanting to hire somebody, and I like am
Do
kinda
it.
like,
Jump in.
I know. I
Jump in.
want to like, dude, let's just like really, really like he has a newborn baby. And I'm like, why don't we just like, go into overdrive for a few months and we'll hire someone after that. But no, everything is going really well.
Yeah. Well, amazing.
And,
Well, thank you so much for having this conversation with me. I love you to death. Like, I love everything that you stand for in regards to your dedication to your friends, to your family, to your work. Like, I know that if you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it to the fullest ability. And that's something that I really admire in you.
Oh, let me give you this love right back. When you had first introduced the idea of Earth Rides, I don't know if I was 100% a believer. I don't know, because it was just like, I was like, it just doesn't seem like there's room in the market. And the things that you've done in so little time is insane. Like I can't even like touch social media without seeing like a new interview or a new podcast, or you're on the Today Show and you're hanging out with Mark Cuban, giving a shout out to Earth Rides. It is like, what a journey
I'm
you've been
pulling
on.
rabbits out of a hat. I'm pulling rabbits out of
and
my
then
hat.
you always play like you don't know how it's happening. It's like the 2.5, 3 days that I spent with you in Nashville when you're kind of trying to bring me on the team. It was like, it is nonstop. It is nonstop. You're like everyone's boss. You're everyone's mother. At least back then, it was like you're everything. You're the marketing head, the accounting, it was
I'm not everything as much. Now I get to like have conversations with you.
Well, I
but
mean, you've grown the business
Yeah,
so much,
yeah.
but it's
it's
man,
a
that was
lot of hard
incredible.
work. It's a lot of hard work, and I'm thankful that in 20 years, 10 years, however many years, like our kids are gonna play around together, and we're gonna be, we won't be
10
smoking
years.
cigars, hopefully, because I don't. That's gross. But
Yeah,
we'll be
eating organic fruits and vegetables,
cantaloupes.
cantaloupes. Certainly
Maybe-
no donuts,
Definitely
pizza,
no
In-N-Out.
donuts.
No.
Abs
Don't do you
seal.
ever like cheat a little bit though?
I do.
Do you
I
ever
do
like
cheat.
get something greasy?
I do. No,
little ice cream?
I cheat. Yes, I do cheat. But when I cheat, I am reading the label. Like I am like. Okay,
You looking at the trans fat?
Damn right. I'm looking at everything. Like it's got to be the cleanest cheat you see. So we'll end it there. We'll end it with Raven Hernandez does eat bad food that is still organic, high quality.
That's a cop out.
Yeah.
Just say I eat a 4x4 In and Out
Never,
every other month.
never.
You
but
don't?
you do know that I talk about Chick-fil-A. I wouldn't actually eat it, but if I was ever gonna eat something bad,
Like that's the
spicy Chick-fil-A sandwich with
delicious
with the pickles, with the Chick-fil-A sauce and the waffle fry.
Southwest chicken
That's
salad.
what I would do. The last time I had one was in 2017 with
The salad or Chick-fil-A?
I had the Chick-fil-A in 2017. I was with two
It
of my
was so good. You remember when you had it last 2017?
because it was in Venice, and
you didn't wanna go back?
And I told Henry and Austin from law school, I said, if you tell anybody at school that I ate this, do not tell
What do you think is going
soul.
to ruin your reputation?
Absolutely, I took away Friday donuts. I can't be on the streets like, oh, take away Friday donuts and then eating Chick-fil-A on
catch
the
you
side.
eating Chick-fil-A?
Literally,
I think
it would
Chick-fil-A is
ruin
like
my
the next
reputation.
healthiest option.
It's amazing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having this conversation
Absolutely.
with
Thank
me.
you so much.
I appreciate it. Attorney Miller, or should I call you AC? Short for ambulance chaser. When you
Nice.
chase ambulances, are you running, walking, or using Lime scooters?
It's a brisk walk.
Brisk
It's a
walk.
brisk walk. Not quite a jog, but I'm in there.
And are you looking for severed limbs or just like heart attacks?
I don't know if we ambulance chase. I think we do the Lord's work.
The Lord's work. Wasn't there a movie called Jarhead?
There was.
Was that about you?
I'm not as good looking as Jake Gyllenhaal.
I broke.
Who wrote these questions?
Did you go to law school to become a lawyer or just to have sex with 15 of your classmates?
Well, I mean, Harvey Specter.
How many of those copulations occurred in the law school?
If I comment on that, then we're gonna have certain exes that are like, oh yeah, when that happened, huh? You gotta be careful.
That jars because you're from the movie Jarhead.
Nice. Jarhead is, they get as close to like what Marines actually act like when they're not performing their duties as any movie has ever gotten. Like everyone's a hooligan. Shout out Jarhead. Shout out Jake Gyllenhaal.
I heard judges don't wear anything under their robes.
Ooh. I was a judge for Halloween
Gotcha.
in is that what you're looking for? You like that? What was that? What was that stupid caption that got me in trouble? It was like
Would you ever do
your girl's got ass
OnlyFans?
and I'm taking judicial notice.
Would you ever do OnlyFans?
I would have to like cut up. Like I feel like I'm in shape, but not that kind of shape. I'd have to cut up.
For all of your OnlyFans fans, is there a Kim Kardashian, Caleb Miller sex tape out there?
Who do you think I am? on this
Would
side?
you let Kanye watch?
Would I let Kanye watch my sex tape or my performance? I mean, if I had a sex tape out there, I feel like I'd be okay with him watching it. Performance, I don't know. It'd be difficult to have someone else in the room.
You don't feel like you could perform well?
I feel like that'd be uncomfortable. You know, a little bit.
Would you be wearing the Yeezy slides while you did it?
If Yeezy himself was there, yes.
Are you
You're
going to send me a bill for this time on the law show?
It's only $400 an hour.
Objection. Overruled.
My entire career is gonna go down after this interview.
So you're the founder of Miller Law.
I am the founder of Miller Wilmer's APC.
Where did you find it?
I found it in the back of Justin Wilmer's mind. I love this. Keep them coming. I'm getting excited. They better get spicy.
To all the people that you put in prison, what is the advice to help them get out?
Hire an attorney. Hire my boy Zeno at Grace Legal Group.
Well, what kind of attorney are you?
Employment.
Are you going to employ the people that you put in prison?
No.
You're not going to employ them.
Couldn't
But you
do it.
are an employment attorney.
I am an employment attorney.
Would you recommend to your clients to hire people that have been in prison?
I represent the employee, not the employer. I think it would depend. You know, you're in prison for robbery, maybe don't hire him at the bank.
But if you're in prison for robbery, maybe hire them for something else?
Depends. Repentance. Maybe if they had an opportunity to fix their life, we could do it.
Maybe hire them like an uncoder, a coder scrambler.
Is that a thing?
I'm asking the questions here, attorney.
Fair enough.
Have you ever done ayahuasca?
No, but my curiosity's through the roof.
So you would do ayahuasca?
100%.
So you're on record stating that you would do ayahuasca?
I'm on record saying if I had an opportunity to do it in a safe environment, oh yeah, I would do it.
Do you believe in doing illegal drugs?
I think that my position on drugs is we should legalize and everyone's just kind of held personally responsible for what happens from there.
So you want to be personally responsible.
I want it taxed.
You want to tax
I want
drugs.
it taxed for the man.
You want to be a drug dealer.
No. The stress. I couldn't handle that stress. Remember stress thresholds? Couldn't handle it.
Okay. What would be your OnlyFans account name?
Ooh, I feel like Sorry Man would be too much. That'd be too much.
Or would it be just enough?
It would be Django Unchained.
What angles would the shots be?
I have no idea how to answer that. I'm not a filmographer, not a director.
Down, up, shaved, not shaved.
Is shaved an angle? I think it's a preference. Yeah, I don't know. I think we have to let the creatives be in charge of that. I don't know if I'm one of them. Go ahead. What you got for me? I'm excited.
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Objection.